everyone, it's me, Carol from Practical Mystic. Thanks for joining me. I am continuing on my series of the particular date of birth you are born in every month. As you can see, we are now up to the 18th day. Thanks for joining me, everyone. As always, I have this all written out for you so that possibly you want to take a screenshot and keep this for your records, or please feel free to share this with someone that you know that could be interested in understanding their date of birth from an esoteric perspective. Let's begin with the meaning, vibration, tone, and aspect for those born on the 18th day of any month. All the planets, including the esoteric planets from these number vibrations, are the Sun, Saturn, Mars. The astrological signs are Aries and Aquarius. There'll be others. We will discuss that, so take note of that. The elements are fire and air. The energy is active. It is yang. It is masculine. And the challenge, which I always explain, at the end of the video is very important to understand, and that challenge is a number 7. It is taken by taking the number on the right and subtracting it to the number on the left. Now, all double digits, day of birth, add emphasis to your life path number. Look at your life path number. It's important. Okay, the 18th day of birth is a powerful vibration and gives the holder the complementary properties of fire and air. Each displays the need and ability to move upward. In essence, the fire within these individuals seeks to transform, and the air seeks to communicate, bring to one's attention what needs transformation. So you could see the evolutionary tendency of this day of birth vibration. Now, adding the numbers 1 and 8 equals 9. We have obtained all the number vibrations and indications that the other numbers have been experienced. Now, what do I mean by that? In order to get to a 9, you had to go through 1 through 8. So that is all experience. At their best, 18-9 strive to improve and perfect. For these individuals, a great deal depends on how efficient, cooperative, and disciplined they are to follow through on their high ideals, their intuitive hits, and honorable virtues. Now, in parentheses, I have, as with all number combinations, the complete chart. Education and family dynamics must be considered for an accurate interpretation of any one person. Now, some aspects to consider in reading that person's chart, your chart. If there is a lack of the element Earth, now Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, and the numbers for Earth are 4, 5, and 8, and you would look at the complete date of birth and the life path numbers. And if there is a lack of the element water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or numbers 2, 7, and 8, yes, 8 is dual, it vibrates to earth and water. So if there is a lack of these, then they're not as grounded and they're not as always receptive to other people's inputs, nurturing, a little bit more compassionate, it'll absorb better. So it's important to have some of these elements. Lastly, your life path number related to the above numbers. So if there's 4, 6, 7, or 8, this would help in the lack of these elements and numbers. Also keep in mind that master number 22 corresponds to water and certainly would resonate with Scorpio, which we will talk about here in a few minutes. All right, now to fully understand this number vibration, let's look at all the numbers within it from both a positive and negative perspective. This includes astrology and the planets corresponding to these numbers. The sun and Saturn energy can be challenging because the sun, number 1, favors notoriety, socializing, and freedom. Now, Saturn, on the other hand, is limitations and discipline. So there's a give and take, there's a pull and push with these two planets. Now, if the ego is inflated, so can issues around power, control, gratification of wants and needs. If the sun or rising sign is also Leo or Sagittarius, this would add to these tendencies. Also, if there is 2 or more number 5s to the date of birth of a 5 life lesson number. Now 5, we're going to look at that in 2 ways. In the Pythagorean triangle, it is in the center and it corresponds to Jupiter. Jupiter always wants more. More is better. And in regular numerology, 5 is Mercury and change and variety. And we do before we think. So that is why those numbers can also add to some of the difficulty of being able to work harmoniously with the individual. Okay, Mars is the ruler of Aries and the ancient ruler of Scorpio. Individual with these sun or rising signs have what the planet Mars represents. We know Mars is known as the planet of pioneer. It is warlike. It breaks down. It keeps on and on until it gets its way. Now, where you find Mars in your chart is where you expand your greatest energy. So look to see what house is in. Now, many 1s and 3s correspond to the sun and the planet Mars as well. Look to see how many 1s and 3s you have in your complete date of birth. Now, tempering this urge to initiate would be having a sun or rising sign in Taurus, Libra, or Pisces. Now, what the 18-9 is asking the holder to exemplify is their ability to use higher awareness from a consciousness that operates for the greater whole. They possess the power of persuasion, with whom other factors are with whom they associate themselves with, the manner in which ideals are presented, why and how they are initiated, again has to do with many of their successes or losses. What the individual must keep in mind is the energy and potential in the final number, which is 9, and that corresponds to Mars, Aries, and Scorpio. And in the Pythagorean triangle, number 9 is Neptune. On the positive end, Neptune is the utilization of intuitive abilities and telepathic functions. Okay, I want to make sure you can see this on your monitor, and you can. Moving along, you have the ability to utilize and formulate your thoughts and actions from the perspective of the mundane and spiritual world. Now, that's a lot to take in. As well as having the ability to speak and articulate your words and speeches. Being aware of how and for what purpose you assert your knowledge and power. Now, in parentheses, I put the power of 8 filtered through the individuality of number 1, who you are, your identity, your sun sign, all those numbers that make you up. That's how your power will be filtered through 8 and everything that I talked about with the number 8. Many will fight for a good cause, work towards improving civil and humanitarian rights and privileges. Your approach to business is philanthropic. Most often, the one who is the executor, the director, or the organizer, most of you have high jobs, positions, organizations, co-op, and big corporations, big businesses for the 18-9. Now, Neptune 9, from the Pythagorean triangle standpoint, endows you with a vivid imagination that you relate to others as a way of getting them interested and or inspiring to follow along. Must guard against spreading oneself too thin, having difficulty saying no, and wanting to have or do things their way. That is another tendency of the 18-9. This number combination will benefit them when they realize that not everyone will agree with them and easily cooperate in ways one prefers. On a side note, don't take it personally. Don't be offended because you are so powerful and because you have more winnings than losing. When it doesn't go your way, it throws you off base in some ways. Now, here is where the lessons, the karma of the number 8 comes into play. You may experience some of the following. Number 1, material success can be both positive and negative. Ultimately, ask yourself, is it bringing me joy and contentment or strife and discord? Too much emphasis on working and achieving, which has negative consequences on home and family life. Many experience life of quick changes, activities, travel, obligations. Often they are centered around responsibilities to large groups, your professions, your community and family matters. So you can see that a lot of the 18-9s are in law, they're in politics or religious, where the masses are involved. 18-9s are by nature charitable and compassionate. They find joy in giving of their services, which are usually based on personal improvements, form of protection, and spiritual understanding practices. They have to overcome the need to worry and fidget over things that in the long run were of little or no concern to them. Due to all the talents this number vibration possesses, many find it hard to dedicate themselves to one career, vocation, or line of work. Multifaceted individuals, changing occupations, and life goals are very common. When these individuals make up their mind to learn or do something, they are unstoppable. Leaders and great thinkers have this day of birth. The important ingredients are honesty, personal integrity, universal vision, perseverance, and acknowledging a higher force at work. I can't emphasize that enough for leading a harmonious, happy life. Here's some occupations. Any scientific field or teaching profession, therapists of mind and body, pediatricians, social workers, leaders or founders of corporations, any financial institutional work, mystics, occultists, religious organizations. Now here's the challenge of the number 9 that I spoke of earlier that we discussed. Of course, we are subtracting 8 from 1, that's the number 7. What is the challenge? To acquire self-discipline and establish a deeper connection to a higher power. The number 18 is working the 8 energy through the 1 vibration. In essence, this lifetime, the individual is guided to use the power inherited within to benefit humanity in any capacity this time around. 8 represents both the material world and man rising to reach the spiritual planes that is his being, divinity, can access quite easily. Learning to use whatever authority and power they personally have achieved and or was bestowed onto them with great reverence in mind. Always keep that in mind. Honor it, respect it. This challenge of the 7, if not controlled and self-disciplined achieved, can lead one to addictions, selfishness, and self-serving indulgence in instant gratifications, waste of talents and resources, and end up with emotional and mental hardships. It is one of the most difficult challenges to overcome, yet the ability to overcome these qualities is ensured in and to you. Self-knowledge, higher awareness, and unity consciousness are tools that have to be honed. The individual must rise in consciousness this lifetime. As a 9, they possess all the qualities of experience of the composite of the numbers 1 through 8. Therefore, faith and conviction are needed to navigate this wondrous opportunity to make a difference this lifetime. I know that was a lot of information. It is very important, powerful number. The double digits certainly have a lot of energy that I need to explain and discuss. I want to thank everyone. Please always feel free to contact me or ask any questions. I wish everyone a wonderful holiday weekend. Thanks for your patience for me getting this information out. Blessings to all. Bye for now.